Shimkus from DocuSign come up. Then we're going to be talking with Jason Sheffield, and then we'll close out with the amazing Jesse Peters. So make sure you stick around to the end of the episode. It's going to be fantastic. So we are broadcasting live on YouTube and on mobileagenttv.com, so you're more than well to go and share that out. And we'll get started with an hour of amazing guests. Let me know when we're ready to go. We're live on YouTube? We're live on YouTube. Welcome to Mobile Agent TV. The camera's over there. I am Michael Thorne of Remax Little Oak Realty. And my co-host, as always, is Dave Falkware from Bridgewater, New Jersey's Remax Preferred Professionals. And the Enviro Realty team, Leigh Brown, is here. How long did it take Leigh Brown to get mic'd up? Because we got to get you off to something else. So let's get a mic on Leigh Brown. Before Leigh Brown comes on the stage, I do want to send out a big hello to Dave Falkware. There's a lot of people that have asked me questions in the last couple of weeks. Where's Dave? Dave is fine. He's doing amazing. Mobile Agent TV is going to have an amazing season. We ended our last episode at the beginning of December. We've made a lot of changes to the way the show's going to look and perform. And this is the first episode of season number 5, so it's going to be awesome. And there's one more person I want to send a huge thank you out to. He kind of goes unnoticed in the Remax world, and especially at events like Remax R4. And that's the amazing Tom Maynard. This guy is unbelievable, not only for what he does for this brand, but he is one of the nicest human beings you will ever meet in your life. He's an amazing, amazing man. You can interact with us live using the hashtag MATVLive. I'm not going to get a chance to look at that during the show, but if anyone sees a good question or something they want to point out, go ahead and let me know. Where is Leigh Brown's just getting ready here? Oh, she's already ready. So don't come on here yet, Leigh. We have a tradition. We have a tradition on Mobile Agent TV that we read out our guest's 160 Twitter bio. You can get Leigh Brown on Twitter at Leigh Brown, motivational speaker with Remax, realtor, CEO, author, mama, wife, runner, overall opinionated woman, trying to fix the world from Charlotte, North Carolina. Hashtag sells CLT, Leigh Brown. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I love the facts.
I forgot to put on my real shoes.
No, your shoes are fine. The camera, I don't know how high. You guys can see the monitor. Can you see your feet? No, you're good. I love the fact that you're on stage all the time. You come up calm. There's nothing gets under your skin anymore. You've been doing this whole lot. But we had you on the show a number of times, and we talked about a number of topics, Leigh, and you're like one of those real pure voices that we have in this industry that's much, much needed.
I don't think pure is how people ever describe me.
Maybe needed voice.
You call it honest voice.
Honest voice. You and I were speaking in Banff, and then we got in a car and we drove 45 minutes, and Leigh Brown skated on Lake Louise in the middle of the night.
And I didn't fall down.
Didn't fall down. And it was a great car ride because we got to really talk and get sort of deep about the real estate industry. And you've been putting something out there into the industry the last number of years, which is more than homes, more than houses?
More than houses, hashtag
more than houses. And yeah, I get that idea of what you're trying to say and what you're trying to have instilled in the industry. But in that car ride, we really got into where you think the issues are and where you think the possible solutions are to better the industry as a whole. So we've had you on talking about listing presentations. We've had you on talking about marketing. We've had you on the show to talk about being authentic. But for the next 10, 15 minutes, I want to dig in with you about that topic because I think it's so more than just a simple hashtag. Why are you starting to have that conversation? What is the issue that starts the more than houses hashtag? What's the issue you see?
Realtors do not know how to define their value proposition, period. All they know is what I've always done. I have MLS and I have some websites and I can negotiate and I know these things, but I'm scared to death of external forces. I'm scared of websites and lead generation companies, and I'm scared of competitors, and I don't know what to do for the future, and I can't manage my money. And so realtors get very distracted and scared because they don't know what they bring to the table. And so what I'm trying to create is that conversation that helps realtors better explain to consumers and to themselves how integral they are to the fabric of their communities, because realtors are the single most educated people in every community. They know the schools, they know the taxes, they know where the planned road improvements are coming in, what's happening with nonprofits, what's happening with poverty and education, and we know so much, and it's all wrapped up in the picture of real estate. But if we don't know everything about our communities, we do a disservice. And I believe that realtors know far more than they give themselves credit for. And if they'll tell consumers, hey, what I'm bringing to your house is not just MLS and a yard sign, but I can provide a holistic picture of this community to the future buyer, so that we can explain to people why we live here. It's where you live. Yeah. You show that overlay, and I love that, of what your community looked like growing up and what it looks like now. And so you're able to talk about what shifts the community's gone through, which tells a person who's moving there, here's our history. People love to know history. They love to know more and the depth and the picture of it. And as realtors who are educated on the market, we can provide that. And as a seller, consumers are dying to know, why do they need us? Well, sometimes they need us for the depth of perspective on the market and the marketing and the community. And we have to talk about that more. We just aren't. We're not eloquent about it.
Okay, so you're being heavily involved in NAR. You're involved in CRS right now. Is this a high-level industry issue that things can happen there and get down to the agent, or is this a start with the agent and change the narrative of the higher level in our industry? Where do you think the execution of more than houses has to take place?
It's a two-pronged approach, in my opinion. It has to come from the grassroots, because individual realtors should not wait for any large organization to tell them how to conduct business and how to delineate what they provide in the industry. That's part. Go ahead and call me out for this if you think it's blasphemy, but I think that's also why RE/MAX has lost a lot of its passion and buzz and zing. We haven't controlled that message as grassroots RE/MAX agents. This is the company where I have found a home for 17 years. I would be nowhere else, and I love RE/MAX. So it's my job as a RE/MAX broker, owner, and sales agent to put that message into the community. I cannot wait for it to come from LLC, because it's not going to. Same thing from NAR. Their job is so big for 1.2 million realtors. They're not going to eloquently get this message out to the consumer in the same way that you and I can, where we connect with people inside our communities on Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and Twitter. So it has to come from us, but then from the larger level, there has to be an understanding of why realtors are talking about this and why we're talking about it now. Because if you look at what's happening in the overall industry picture, the things that are going to affect your business are going to be a national MLS. And that's the words that when you say that out loud, it upsets every industry association related person, because that's where the associations make their money, is off of revenues from MLS. But the consumer is demanding a national MLS. It's going to happen. We have to get more comfortable with uncomfortable technology so that we're prepared for a future. And the other thing that's going to happen in all likelihood is that the courts are going to find our 1099 status to be invalid, and we will wind up being W-2s in the industry. And so if we as realtors have not learned how to define our value proposition from the grassroots level, and our large organizations to understand what do realtors provide, so that we have an advantage when the market takes a massively huge shift, because that's going to happen. And when it happens, I don't want to be caught off guard trying to reestablish why you call a realtor. If my consumers know all the things that I do to fight for them, to fight for my community, to be active in my community, and, by the way, handle their largest financial instrument, it won't matter what the larger market changes are, because my consumers will feel like they're safe talking to me, and it has to be the same for your people too.
I am all in the more than houses concept. You know me, you know the thing that I think we have to be relevant in between the homes that people buy and sell. They're purchasing a whole lot more than 2x4s and drywall. There's a whole lot more value. The question is, if you can articulate that as one of your core values, in-house articulate that, how then do you articulate that through marketing to the consumer? Because if you wait for the listing presentation to explain that value, it's too late. That value has to be explained and offered earlier on in the transaction before you even know a neighbor is thinking about buying or selling. So from a marketing perspective, how do you market that value proposition to a consumer where they see that? And I think it's pretty easy that they see it. But how do you go about telling that narrative in the way that you market to the public?
Well, the first thing is, you said when you are approached by a neighbor, what happens to all of our businesses if we think of our future clients as neighbors instead of leads? And that's a critical mind shift in how realtors operate, because the ones who are highly successful are into the relationships that they build with people. And it's no different when you're thinking about promoting the idea of more than houses. So when you're out there doing your advocacy work, you're working for nonprofits, or you're going to town hall meetings, or you're at the ball field with your kids, or at the ice rink, maybe you're playing hockey with your kids, whatever you're doing that makes you an integral part of the community, you just start a conversation. And for us, we use the hashtag more than houses all the time, which means consumers will say, and you know this, they read hashtags because they hate them. They're trying to figure out what you're talking about. What is more than houses? We want you to know we're part of this community, and we're proud to be part of this community. And so I copied one thing that you do, because Michael has lots of great ideas that you can steal, and I stole one with permission. So we made these little videos to go out on Facebook the day a listing goes live, and we're running it for 36 hours.
Yep.
So just after it goes live. And it just says, hey, here's how much this house is. If you want more information, let us know, but let's pick your neighbor.
But hyper-targeted to the
address.
To the address.
1 mile around the address.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to do it, then hire a young person. So 1 mile around the address. And in the video that I did, we said we're proud to be part of this community. So I added that little snippet in there.
Yeah.
And the response back, the engagements are high. I sent that to you, but we're getting messages that say it's so nice to hear a realtor say they're proud of this community. And I will challenge y'all on this, because how many of you have bitched about your communities in the political season? You have fussed about your mayors and your town hall and your school boards and the roads and this and that and the other. If you're online just bitching about the place where you live, how does that tell a potential seller you're going to represent their largest financial instrument? It's not that you can't be honest and engaging about how you feel about what's going on, but there's ways to couch it that you don't sound so hateful. Bless you, Sue. You've got to be not hateful when you're talking. And me, if I'm talking about being more than houses, I can't be hateful. They expect me to be opinionated and involved. They all know that I'm very political. But I use my political emphasis as a way to benefit consumers, not as a way to alienate the place where my kids play ball and take art lessons and go to school.
Yeah. And do you encourage everyone to take ownership of more than houses, or is that something for Leigh Brown?
No, it is my gift to the world.
Exactly. And so
I don't own any hashtag.
But you want people to start using
but if
that.
You'd all
if we
use
all
it,
used it.
If you all used hashtag more than houses once a week on something you do that's not related to a sign in a yard, and where you're not wearing some gaudy name tag, because God forbid that we should do anything without wearing them damn name tags. Which means, by the way, if you're really going to be more than now I'm getting wound up, sorry. If you're going to be more than houses, you cannot go to a Habitat for Humanity build and have all your shit saying, here's who I am with RE/MAX, because that's just tacky. You should be out there in your normal stuff, and then they're like, oh, snap, well, what do you do? And you could say, I help consumers navigate the minefield of a real estate transaction. And they might get blown up along the way, and I might get blown up away, but pieces of us are getting across the finish line together. And then it becomes, what? But it's a little different than the traditional real estate response of, I love to help consumers create wealth through financial and real estate investments. There's nothing interesting about that makes you part of your community, which also means y'all have to stop saying that really terrible, tired stuff. Will you promise to stop saying the greatest referral you can give me is the name of your friend and family? Stop it. That's not more than houses. That says I want your commission dollars. It doesn't say I care about what happens with your largest financial instrument and what happens to the kids who are going to lay their heads down to sleep in the house that you buy.
Yeah.
If you want this message to take off, you have to be authentic about it in everything you do in your marketing.
One last question before we let you get on. You're speaking 2:30 on the main stage?
And I'm going to say something
and
very
we're speaking. I'm speaking.
troublesome.
I'm speaking at
Oh, you're
2:30
doing
on
bomb-bomb.
on a panel. So you're going to say something troublesome from the main stage.
I'm going to say something that's probably going to make Dave
Okay.
Liniger come shake me.
Okay, your voice in this brand, in this industry, makes me braver and braver a little bit at a time. I want to ask you a question that's going to make me a little brave to ask it. I love this company. Everyone knows how authentically I owe a ton to this company. Were you at the opening general session?
No.
I perceived a lot of unneeded bashing of the stereotype of millennials during the OGS. I think the millennials are completely misrepresented, and they are the future of this industry as
Correct.
consumers and as agents. Do we have to sort of change our narrative of the way that we celebrate millennials and see them as see their best sides, and as opposed to always saying that they're in Snapchat putting dog ears on their head?
So you and I are Gen X.
Yep.
So we are the lost generation.
Yes, we are.
Because the bulk of this industry is baby boomer.
Yep.
The new part coming in is millennial, but what's happening is we're broad brushing one another.
Yep.
We shouldn't broad brush each other in anything, whether it's gender-based, racial, ethnic, political party, or the generation in which you're born. And
Yep.
that's where we alienate one another in saying all millennials text. Well, they don't. What if in our conversation we put forth a statistic which came from Goldman Sachs research, and they have the money, so Goldman Sachs does the research, I listen, 52% of millennials prefer to make a business decision face to face. But we don't talk about that because we make fun of Snapchat, and I don't get Snapchat. I've tried. I'm too old for it. I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to slam them using it because it's their thing. That's cool. But I'm not going to say, oh, y'all use it because all them don't use it. There's some old souls in their generation too. But what I'll say
I
is
never
this.
say all y'all, so I never do that.
Well, that's y'all plus 3, if you want to know the technical term. So all y'all is y'all plus 3. Sue knew. And so she knows because when you're pinky, you know, right, baby girl? So I want to think about it in this way, and it's the same way you should be thinking about race and ethnicity and gender identity and every one of the other little silos in which we're placing one another now, is the conversation should not be about diversity. We shouldn't be saying we have this many millennials in this box and Gen X and baby boomers and splitting one another up into buckets. We should be talking about inclusion, and inclusion says our circle is big enough for everyone. And if your circle is big enough for everyone, then you don't broad brush. You actually understand that the beauty of us being friends is not the homogeneity of what we think, but it is the diversity of ideas and the fact that you and I don't agree on a lot of stuff, but we can have really fun conversations about it because at your heart, you're a genuinely good person. You are a wonderful husband and you are a wonderful dad, and you thrive on giving back to this community where most of them won't do anything you tell them to do, even though y'all should do everything Michael Thorne tells you, but quit being lazy about it. But you're doing all of this because your character and your soul are good. And so if we'd stop looking at each other in terms of silos and look at one another's eyes for character and soul, well, I mean, we would fix RE/MAX, we'd fix the industry, and we'd fix the world.
Leigh Brown, everyone. She is, you're the
There's
real
just
deal.
one.
You're real deal. You're amazing, and I love you.
I love
Thank
you
you
too.
so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me on Mobile Agent TV.
She did a whole episode of Mobile Agent TV. I probably shouldn't say this because if any police officers, with a camera on her dashboard, she drove for an hour. She didn't look down, but just no shot for an hour of an episode of Mobile Agent TV. Up next, we have Glenn Shimkus. You can get him on Twitter at Glenn Shimkus, 2 N's in Glenn. His 160 Twitter bio reads VP of Product at DocuSign, co-founder, CEO of Cardivi, acquired by DocuSign, passion for people, tech, creating new bits, want to inspire and be inspired. Glenn Shimkus. How are you, sir?
How are you?
I think this is your 3rd visit on Mobile Agent TV. It's the first time we've got to do it live. There's a couple things I want to tackle with you. How many people here in the audience are DocuSign users? About 50%.
Yep.
There was what I perceive, I've been with RE/MAX for 5 years, I was 18 years somewhere else. There was an announcement made this year that I am shocked. wasn't more like screamed from the mountaintops. And that was the sort of partnership or joining of forces of Remax with DocuSign in a very meaningful way that impacts every one of these agents and can help them change their business. So let these agents that don't know, because it hasn't been screamed enough, what took place late last year.
So we're really excited. Remax chose DocuSign for transaction management, for electronic signatures, and they chose us worldwide. And so what that means is we are now working with Remax to do integration, so you can literally be in Max Center and click on the DocuSign logo and get right into DocuSign so you can get business done. It means that you now, which we're showing here today,
Yep.
you could be in Lead Street on a contact or a listing, press one button, create a transaction room, have all of the data from that listing or from your contact go into the transaction room. And honestly, that's just the start of where we're going. We're really, really excited about the relationship with Remax. And as I've shared, it's personal to me. You know, my mom was a Remax agent, my wife's a Remax agent, my brother-in-law's a Remax agent, and Remax runs in the blood.
Now, what does it mean for Remax affiliates worldwide, regardless of region, regardless of Integra, regardless of LLC? What that partnership gave was transaction rooms to every single one of the agents free.
Free.
Like that's like I have been paperless for 10 years.
Yep.
Before it was easy, before Cardiff came along, before DocuSign came along, and now it's unbelievable, and it has such an enormous impact not only for your internal business but for your forward-facing business. I want to tell you something. I got a text, Facebook message from a dear friend of both of ours, from Valerie Garcia, and that's all it says. And this wasn't part of a conversation. This is what just came through. I hadn't talked to her for a day or so. You can see it right there. I can't say enough how much I love DocuSign. Why, all capitals, isn't everyone using it? That's a question that I also ask myself, because those people that use DocuSign don't go, okay, I've gone paperless. Your microphone fell off there, Glenn. I've gone paperless, and now I get in a good run. I'm going to go back to the old way of doing it. What is that roadblock for agents? Why isn't everyone a DocuSign customer?
You know, I think that at times there's some confusion around the nature of you lose the personal relationship if you go electronic, and that's just not the case. You still can sit down with your buyer or seller. You just use a tablet or your phone or your Mac or PC and your finger, right? No different, just not a pen and paper, but you still have that relationship. And so I think a lot of times real estate's a personal business. It's a service business.
Yeah.
And I think people sometimes fear that if you go electronic, you're just basically sending something electronically and it shows up in their text. And as Leigh was talking about, you make the assumption that it's a millennial, that's how they want to work. And it's many times not true. Now, of course, there's some instances where it's Tuesday night, 10 o'clock, you need to get a one-page disclosure signed, or as you've said.
But they don't want to see you at 10 o'clock at night.
That's exactly right. Or at times, you've said, I'm at a baseball game with my kids, and I'm able to take care of business, make sure my client is happy, knows I'm thinking about them, but also make sure I'm spending quality time with my family.
Okay, and so you're a technology guy who wants agents to leverage the power of DocuSign. I'm an agent. I know what it's like to be with clients every single day. So here's the thing. DocuSign isn't as personal as the old traditional model. It has the ability to be more personal. So the issue is I get a phone call from another agent saying, we're writing an offer on your home. I go to sit down with my clients, my sellers. I get emailed, fax, doesn't matter to me. It comes to my DocuSign, the contract. We negotiate it. I send it back to the other agent. The other agent's at their office, prints it out, races back to their clients, negotiates that, drives back to the office, sends it to me. I haven't left your side.
Right.
We're developing a relationship in the most emotional part of the transaction. We make our changes, send it back. Then they're still at the office. Then they print it off, goes back.
Right.
And you're saying that's more belly to belly than technology? I think if we were going to take technology and jam it in between us and our customer, then you're using technology wrong. It's in the application. I take technology and say, how can this make either the experience for my consumer better? If DocuSign was harder for me but better for the consumer, I'd still use it. The reality is it's not. It's better for everybody. doesn't fly with me as an argument because you're using the technology wrong. Don't blame the technology.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, it's assumptions, right? You assume a millennial wants a text and doesn't want to talk to you. And that's an assumption.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's true and sometimes it's false. Sometimes you're working with a 90-year-old widow who's selling a property, and you assume that she wants to have paper and pen. And we've had an agent say, listen, I made the assumption that this widower wanted a paper and pen, and I was having her sign documents, and she walked out, brought her iPad, and said, oh, honey, I wish we could have used this, because it's a lot easier for me to just press my finger, sign once, and press wherever I need to. And so you just never know. And sometimes people will want, send it remote, it's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night, I'm arguing with the kids to get them to bed, and sometimes you want to be face-to-face when we're having that negotiation. What is that price going to be? We're right here, side by side. And so the key is use the technology in the best way that fits your buyer or seller and the situation. And sometimes, sometimes it can be impersonal, but it's based on the situation.
Now, I want to ask a question based on a stat. Out of all the transactions that were done in North America last year or the U.S., how many of those had a fingerprint of DocuSign on them?
We estimate somewhere in the range of about 25% in some way touch DocuSign.
Okay, so here's the next thing that agents need to really be aware of. I get a referral from someone that sold a house out of town 2 weeks ago, and now they're buyers.
Yep.
They meet with me, and we do the transaction with DocuSign. All their documents stored for them, managed for them, all paperless. And this is what they say to me now that they've had the experience. 2 weeks after they've had a paper experience, why wasn't my other transaction done this way? Now, what you've done, if they've never had a paperless transaction, they're not aware of how the value proposition is. Yeah. But now that consumer that said it to me will never opt for a paper transaction again. So if you happen to be trying to court them for a listing 3 years from now, they know what the experience was like. And every single time, 25%, it won't be long, between 4 or 5 years from now, that everyone's experienced paperless, that you'll have no choice because your consumer will demand that experience because there's no question it's a better experience.
Well, and imagine too, not even that, these buyers and sellers, the people that own the homes, guess what? At their job, they're using DocuSign. They're doing purchase orders. They sign their offer letter with their company via DocuSign. And so could you imagine someone who is in that digital mindset, their business is digital, and you show up with pen and paper and they're like, there's a disconnect, right?
Absolutely.
And so there's a wonderful opportunity because the expectation is becoming more and more and more, it's digital. And there's so much value behind that for everybody involved.
Absolutely. So I love technology companies on this conversation. It's not like the product, and we're going to be talking with Jason from BombBomb next. It's not like the product for DocuSign is here and it works well and we're satisfied and now it's just sit back and let it go. The nice thing about any app on your phone is that there always has to be updates or else it will end up being obsolete. And so where is DocuSign looking in short term, longer term that will continue to improve the product that's going to impact the agents?
Well, I think for us, like one of my key areas of focus and is very strategic to us as DocuSign is this whole notion of, I think we've done a good job as an industry making progress of what I would say lead to contract to be digital. But then all of a sudden, imagine you show up at your closing table, right? And all this paper is sitting there. There's so much opportunity to make sure that we get from lead to fully to the close, where everything along the entire way is digital. Because what happens is when you go to paper, it really destroys so much of the value that has been there from day one when you're signing the actual agreement or the disclosures electronically. And so what we're working towards is how do you get the bank involved? How do you get the title company involved? And how do you make sure everyone that touches that transaction is fully digital so that you can take advantage of the efficiencies and by the way, and not do so in silos, right? Because if it's everyone's digital but everyone's siloed, it's not going to work, right? It needs to be fully digital, and you need to break down the barriers, because the way we look at it is as a consumer, someone who's buying or selling a home, they're not thinking about, well, I got to work with the agent on this piece, and I got to work with my loan officer on this. What they're thinking about is, that's a house, and I want to own it, or I have this house, and I want to sell it. And so they don't think about mortgage, title, whatever. They think about, I have a transaction to buy, or I have a transaction to sell.
They're not breaking it into their little parts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to pay you and your company a compliment, and it really goes hand in hand with, is Jason here? Yes. Jason's here. No, you're not here yet. With Jason and his company. One of the things I really love about great companies like DocuSign is this. Not only is your product outstanding, but every person I've ever come in contact with within the company is outstanding. And I think as agents, we need to understand that culture affects the products. Yeah. And you and your product and your team are amazing human beings, and they're great to be around. And I think that needs something to be celebrated. I think we need to internalize that in our business a whole lot more. So a shameless plug, we're doing a panel at 2:30, which leveraging tech in your business or exploding your business with tech or something like that. I'm on the panel, you're moderating. Dan Troop and Jimmy Doolin is going to be on that panel. I think it's in, I don't know what room it's in. It's on your
CDIJ, I think. It's a combination of a bunch of rooms. Because you're a big draw. We've got a great panel, and so
you're the best, Glenn. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you so much.
Shimkus, everybody. All right. Wow. So here's something special. As you know, I always introduce my guests by reading their 160 Twitter bio. I could not find Jason on Twitter, but I found a Jason Sheffield on Twitter. So I will read a Jason Sheffield's Twitter bio. You can get this Jason Sheffield on Twitter at Jason_SHEFF. And this Jason's bio reads, if you don't stand for something, you'll stand for anything. Some tweets funny, some tweets political, never malicious. Jason Sheffield.
Oh, that's funny.
I love you, man.
The real question, Michael, is why are you still talking about Twitter?
That's a very good point.
Like, I'm not on Twitter. Like, I don't need to tweet.
Were you ever on Twitter?
I do have a Twitter account. I was on for maybe, 6 months, back when it was cool and you kind of had to. But I never tweeted. And then the Instagram came along, and I care about pictures over tweets.
Now, is this where I bash millennials like I said I would?
Yeah, do that. Let's do it. Bring it.
For those that don't know, what's your title with BombBomb? You're head of training?
Yeah, director of training.
Director of training.
Yep.
How many BombBomb users that are here? Greatest product. Now, I do want to get into something you guys have released in the last month and a half.
Yeah.
That is amazing. But I do want to have a disclosure that I have said 1,000 times over.
Yes.
I don't work for BombBomb. I'm not on their payroll. I don't have an affiliate link. There's no benefit of me. If anyone signs up, there's no benefit. The benefit is it's going to improve your business. Yeah. And if there's one thing I hope I've earned over the last 5 years of sort of being on stage is that I'm saying it because I genuinely want you guys to have a better business.
Yeah.
So I have to go, because we only have 15 minutes together, I have to go under the assumption that people understand sort of the basics of BombBomb to talk about prompts.
Right. Perfect.
So I heard about prompts probably in the fall, October. You guys were still working on it. Instantly, it was one of those ones that was a no-brainer home run. You rolled it out. You are at your very first end of your first prompt,
right.
And we'll get into what that is.
Right.
So it's just fresh. And so in a nutshell, why does myself and so many other agents that you heard from completely think this changes everything for them in the way that they market to their clients?
Right. So I think so prompt is kind of a do-it-for-you product with BombBomb. And so we know, and we've coached on, and I've trained on some of the best ways to use BombBomb, but we've been leaving it up to you to actually execute on it. And it can take time, and it can take effort to pull all the right content, to pull all the right things, to do the video, and that whole process. And so as we surveyed our customers, we really learned that they wanted a product that would do it for them. They still want to be able to do the video, but the hardest thing is knowing what to say in the video.
And
knowing when to do it, right? And so we talk at BombBomb about the art of email marketing, and the art stands for anticipated, relevant, and timely. And for a lot of people that's doing email marketing in their business, they kind of fall down on those three things because you have to be consistent in it. You got to be doing it over and over. So a lot of times people maybe do one send and then you stop. And then it goes 6 months, you're like, I should probably do a client appreciation send. And you do that, and then you don't do anything for another 6 months. And so you're maybe sending 3 or 4 emails out over the course of the year. But we know that if you're consistent in your sending and staying in front of your sphere of influence, you're going to get business from that. And sometimes you need the help to do it the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, because maybe the first time you didn't get the results that you wanted. Guaranteed the third or fourth time you will, because you're creating that consistency. So Prompt takes care of that for you.
And so what happens is they design the content in the email.
Right.
And then 2 weeks before that goes out, you get an email saying, here's what this month's send is going to be. Here's what the 3 things you should say in the video. And it's actually you saying, this is what you should say.
And then I pretend I'm a real estate agent in my office and do the video. So you can actually get an example of how you can do it and how one way that you make it sound. Now, the best part about Prompt though was
everyone did it. Crazy stuff.
So crazy. Some of the ideas that we saw come through was well beyond what we expected, and that was awesome.
And on that note, do you think that you got that creative results because they knew they had an idea of what they should do, and you gave them the foundation, and they just built on?
Exactly.
It's amazing.
It's stuff that you know, right? And sometimes you just need the T-ball, right? You just need it set up for you so you can knock it out of the park. And that's our goal with Prompt.
Yeah.
We're going to tee it up for you so that you can send meaningful content to your sphere of influence, and you can take it above and beyond, or not do anything. And we'll still send the email, right? And that's the beauty. Some months you may not have the time. It gets busy in the summertime. That's when agents stop sending emails to their clients, is during the summer, because you're working on new transactions. Your sphere of influence still needs to be hearing from you, and so Prompt will keep sending those messages whether you add the video or not.
And really saying them with you in it.
Exactly.
And there's 2 more huge wins with Prompt. After that email goes out, after it's clicked and watched, then you send back a report saying, holy, here's the 5 people that engaged in that email the most because of this algorithm. You should be reaching out one-on-one with them and maybe say
this, right?
This,
follow up with them.
It's spoon-fed to agents.
Right, because what we've learned in the conversations I've had with agents and training is, for referral marketing, there's this tension of reaching out to your clients when you haven't been consistent with them, right? Nobody wants to pick up the phone and talk to Susie, who you haven't talked to in a year, and say, hey, Susie, do you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell? Right, that's an awkward conversation. What Prompt is doing is it's allowing you to be consistent in front of those people, and when you see them opening and watching, now you have the opportunity to talk about real estate. Now you can pivot into that real estate conversation, and follow-up is where the money's made. Email sending is great, providing value to your customers is nice, but if you're not following up, you won't be achieving the ultimate ROI because they're watching you, so now you can begin having the conversation with the follow-up. And we make it dead easy, just on your mobile device, 30 seconds. Hey, just wanted to follow up, how are you doing? Send out that message and move on to the next one.
And then and here's the other thing, the last thing that's rolling out, I guess, right now almost,
we're
is any reminder that's a date. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to put in all your clients' birthdays.
Right.
And on the Monday or Tuesday, you're going to get an email from Prompt saying, here are the 9 people in your database that are having a birthday this week. You sit down once, right? You get your little outfit, right? Or what do you want to do, Sue? I know you don't care, and it's great. You get there and you just go, say happy birthday to Bob. Hey, Bob, just want to wish you a happy birthday. Hope everything's well with your friends or family. Send. Now say happy birthday to Jill. Hey, Jill, it's Michael from Ring Outs. Just want to touch base. All 9 done, and then they go out on their birthdays or the anniversary of they bought their home or whatever. It's so powerful because in a 2017-year-old world, the most valuable thing we have is time.
Right.
And our consumers understand that. And when they realize that you carved out a little bit of time for them, it makes them feel so special, and it really deepens that relationship.
But get this, so we've added a new feature to it. We actually give you the ability to send out an evergreen video. So if you don't want to take the time to do, maybe it's 20 videos, that could take us some time, right, in that week.
Yep.
So you can actually do a pre-recorded video where your team is sitting down, and you guys do some great videos where you're blowing horns or doing different things.
Yep.
So the whole team can be around, and you can say, hey, happy birthday, and you can send that video every single time. But then we'll send you a report that says, well, you got Bob and Susie and Joe coming up this week, and well, man, Joe's turning 60, so I should send him a special video, and you can do a personalized message.
And it's even so cool that when it comes in, you can scroll through them.
You can
and
see.
So you're like, okay, not personal for that one, not personal for that one. Bill, oh, he's an A+ client. Click.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Bill. Scroll through. Personal.
Right.
So you can sort of sift through, and then you're really hitting those A's and the A+.
Exactly.
And those drip campaign guys, you may not know where they are. They still get their happy birthday, but you didn't have to spend your time on it. It's so amazing.
And home anniversaries as well, right? As you're doing that, every home anniversary, people should be getting a message saying congratulations, and then reminding them that you're a resource to them beyond buying or selling, right?
Yep.
It's more, you are the real estate person that's the hub. So here's the piece though that's really cool. What you'll be able to do with the home anniversaries is when you see John and Susie are coming up on their 15-year home anniversary, that's a different conversation, right? Yeah. They may be looking to make a transition. So not only can you congratulate them, but you can then begin to pivot and move into talking more about real estate.
It's unbelievable. What you guys are doing is unreal. I said this to Ethan probably about 3 years ago when you guys were here and I started using BombBomb. I said to Ethan at R4, I said, I don't understand why every single agent that walks past your booth doesn't have their credit card out. I don't understand it. It is the largest ROI. And if you don't want to go prompt, at least go up there and do your 14-day free trial.
Right, just start
and then have your clients go, oh my goodness, that was the most incredible email I've ever received. And if you don't then grasp that's a game changer, then maybe we're not going to get to you.
Right.
But amazing product. And I said it to Glenn. I said it about you guys. I have made 2 trips down to Colorado Springs just to be around you guys. Yeah. Everyone at BombBomb is unbelievable. The customer service is unbelievable. Your level of innovation, like the Gmail plugin for BombBomb is phenomenal. You did an amazing update on the Gmail plugin probably about 6 months ago, and there's another one that's just launched out yesterday. Yep. You guys keep innovating, and it's phenomenal, and I owe a whole lot to your company for changing my business, and I love you guys, and I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Jason
Absolutely.
Sheffield.
Thanks, guys.
Who's not on Twitter? Oh no, guys, here it comes. Here comes energy. Our next guest on the show is, don't come on yet. That's not the way it works, Mr. Peters. Jesse Peters is up next. You can get him on Twitter at Mr. Social Savvy. Trademark, by the way, folks. His 160 Twitter bio reads, life is social. Let's be savvy, dad of 2 awesome, all capitalized kids, and husband to an amazing wife, only the A capitalized. Wife, love the power of video and social media. Winnipeg Jets 2.0 fan, realtor, stay social. My dear friend, Mr. Jesse Peters.
How you doing, buddy?
Oh man, we have spent a lot of time together on the road the last year or so.
Almost to the point where it's too much time.
Really?
No.
I don't
Are you
feel
kidding
that
me?
way. I don't feel that way.
We just had a caricature done. Yeah. We're roommates, and you know what? It's I don't even think of time kind of when we're together, right? Like it's like best friends hanging out doing this. Yeah. And we upload each other for like 7 days, and then we take 4 weeks off, and we go to the next trip.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Jesse and I are on the road doing two-day video boot camps. And maximum people in a boot camp is 60, but we've been to Seattle and to Toronto.
Vegas and head office in Denver. We were here last year doing a video boot camp. We got Toronto and Ottawa coming up. Like the power of video and our industry and our brand recognizing that and being ahead of the game is amazing. And folks, if you're wondering if video is still where you need to be, you shouldn't be thinking that anymore. It should be how I need to be doing it and getting on it quicker or before the next person in your market.
And it's so amazing for people to come out of the video boot camps and they're there because they know video is important. But the idea that we see people actually execute. Okay, get behind Kinsey.
Hi, Kinsey.
Hi, Kinsey. And see people that are doing 30 videos in 30 days starting today, seeing Sue do it, seeing people execute against it, and having it change their business is so rewarding for you and I. It's unbelievable. So let's talk about what you and I see as some opportunities that exist right now that that agents should be looking at. So,
well, yeah, and like it's what you're going to get here is a little bit more than the ABCs of video, folks. What you'll hear here in the next 10 minutes, and I hope I don't take too much time up.
Yeah,
I know happened.
I see what happened. I see what
you're at the
there.
video summit. Anyways, you're going to hear next level shit. Okay, the stuff that people aren't doing
I don't think they
yet,
that.
and how to utilize the power of social media and what's out there to get in front of the audience where they are already. So don't get up and walk away. And if you don't find it informative, we hope we entertained you.
Okay, let's start where you and I have been very bullish, trying to find the right solution on immersive.
Yes.
And Matterport actually is coming up right after us.
Awesome.
Amazing technology. We looked at color, but you and I this year and a lot of other people have adopted Emo Viewer.
Yes, Emo Viewer is a virtual 360 company out of Germany that we connected with when we were at the Canadian conference in Whistler, and they were just nominated as one of the top finalists this year at the Inman Connect in San Francisco. So the name is there, and we've had an awesome opportunity to connect with them and be like, we've been trying to do this for a year and a half and spending 5-6 hours on every shoot using a GoPro, using a DSLR, stitching it together, and then building it separately. And then we come across a solution that allows us to get into the virtual world, folks. And we're talking about virtual 360, we'll call it video, right? But it's virtual 360, allowing you to showcase the homes that you're selling, right, on a whole new level, allowing them to get a closer look at what the master bedroom looked like, allowing them to get a closer look at what the backyard looked like, allowing them to see if this home is for them.
And layout and flow. Right, layout and flow is a big deal.
Layout, flow, allowing them to experience the home before they even walk into it. So kind of getting rid of the tire kickers, but bringing an experience that they'll also remember us by, saying, wow, social savvy realtor Jesse or Michael Thorne or the guys, the Nathanson brothers from Florida are utilizing this cutting edge technology to help your home be seen, showcased, and sold on a new level.
And I really think one of the big wins with Emo Viewer is it couldn't be simpler.
And that's exactly it, right? Like, it is now simply having a camera, and we are not paid by any of these companies, for the record. The camera Michael and I are currently using for this is called the Ricoh Theta S. It's a 360 camera. They got the booth here. Okay, we use a tripod.
And they're showing Emo Viewer there too.
And they're showing Emo Viewer there. Yeah. Awesome. And then it's an app called Emo Viewer, but it's a company. It's a subscription-based company. But what we do is we go in the home, I shoot a listing video first, and then I shoot a virtual 360 with a camera and a monopod on my mobile device. Take a picture of the kitchen. It's going to prompt me to say, where do you want your entrance and your exit? Tap the screen, tap the screen.
Move to the next room.
Move to the next room. Link it up with the next room. By the time I'm done, it's usually about 20 minutes to 30 minutes setting this up for the inside the home and outside the home. I'm leaving with a virtual 360 tour, and I could share it out instantly on my website, embedding it, share it out on social. And it's one of these where you got the phone and you're tilting it, or you're putting on your Google VR cardboard glasses and you're going right into it, or you're scrolling it on your phone. Who's utilized Facebook 360? Who's seen 360 photos or panoramics on Facebook? Raise your hands, right? We can bring these experiences now to the homes. And everything that I love about Emo Viewer is it now provides back-end data. How long were people in each room? You can lock a room and say, you want to see more? Sign up, put your name and your email address, and do you mind if the realtor contacts you? What are we doing? Building opportunities, building leads, building follow-up. So now you got that email address, you're sending them a video email with BombBomb, and it's a whole new level of experience for these clients. And it's IMMOVIEWER. They have a North American consultant, they're out of Germany, there's a handful of us that are using this product already, and you're building it right on your app.
Yeah, and just the very
What's
last.
IMMO Viewer, all one word.
I could give the camera to somebody in the app and tell them nothing. They could walk to a house and they could do a tour. It's that dead simple. It's that simple.
ABC.
So, amazing product.
Love it.
Okay, so the next opportunity that you see out there that you're starting to leverage a little bit more, and I'm watching you do it, and you're amazing at that, is the addition of stories to Instagram.
Yes. Who here uses Instagram? Raise your hands. Who here has dived into Insta stories? Who here is a watcher? Okay? All right. The thing I love about, and really what I'll call Instagram, but Facebook has done now, Instagram was a place where we could put cool, edgy, hashtaggy photos, creative of our listings, our brand, our personal, our community, right? And kind of filter it, right? Making it look professional. The thing I love about Insta Stories is those people that we follow because we love what they're doing, they now have a voice. You can now hear what they're doing live in the moment.
You can see the person behind the photographs.
I didn't know they had kids.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a husband. I didn't know they had a wife. The giggles, you're bringing new things to life, which in turn is strengthening a know, like, and trust on another level. So I have, say on my Instagram, 1,500 followers who follow everything, right? I create Insta stories. They now get to see more of my kids.
Outside of their news feed.
Outside of
their
news
scroll.
Because they have to go to Instant Stories. It doesn't pop up as they're scrolling. So they're going intentionally to see what's out there.
Which separates it from all the noise.
You're connecting on a new level.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about it too is you already have your followers built. Unlike another platform, Snapchat, which I still love for particular reasons, but we had to redirect everybody. We had to build an audience from scratch. The efforts are different. So if you're not looking to put the time into doing that, and some people who do it here are awesome, a great friend of mine, Sue Pinky Benson, on it all the time, you have an audience already in Insta, right? So it's less building, getting right into the creative already.
Do the cool kids call it Insta?
I think so.
All right.
What are you saying?
I'm saying maybe I'm not cool. I didn't know it's called Insta.
Insta Stories, Insta, FB.
Because we're very time sensitive.
5 minutes.
No, I know, but we got a giveaway. Tell us in 68 seconds why you think 2017 is the year of live video.
Because our audiences and platforms want to see unpolished. They want to be able to interact with us on a whole new level. They want to see live in the moment. And if we're able to deliver that, whether it's with a Facebook Live open house, where you're not walking through with the camera in your hand, but you have a device to make it easier, more steady, interacting with our clients like never before in the moment, setting up Q&A, showcasing parades in your neighborhood, and capturing people right when they're ready,
and without all
unpolished.
And without all the issues of post-production and editing and titles, and none of that can be there. It's just you, and once it's done, it's done. It's
done. It could be seen. And the thing is, Facebook is pushing live streaming. So if you want to be more prominent in your news feed of your knows, likes, and trusts already, and you connect with the live, you're going to be seen by more than just a text post or a post with a photo or a post with a polished video, right? I love it, but you gotta just do it and learn your craft. It's like a call-in show. Facebook Live is now a call-in show, and the tips to be instant
62
are,
seconds.
Hey, you know what?
62 seconds.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for the question. Good to see you.
The Matterport people are losing their minds. Great product, by the way.
Sorry.
So selfish plugs, shameless plugs, not really shameless. We're out helping agents improve their business. We're bringing the 2-day video boot camp to Ottawa, April 10th and 11th. We're in Mississauga.
No, 9th and 10th in Ottawa. Oh, yes, no, you're right. 14th is Good Friday.
Yeah.
You're right.
10th and 11th in Ottawa, 12th and 13th in Mississauga, and finalizing the details in the next 48 hours to be in Vancouver on June 6th and 7th. So that's it. Guys, oh my goodness, that was at the Bomb Golf last night.
Top golf.
We've got 2 great giveaways, courtesy of Remax University. We've got the amazing Echo Dot, and we've got the Flip 3 portable Bluetooth speaker. Now, we're going to ask these to people that are committed viewers, not only today, but over the last 5 years.
What?
So, we are going to give away, let's give away the Echo Dot first, to the person who can tell me who besides myself and Dave Falkware has made the most appearances in the last 5 years on Mobile Agent TV. Valerie Garcia, the biggest regular on the show. Melanie Gallia, as you all know. Now, Melanie's not eligible for the speaker, so let's ask the question for a giveaway. Someone's been here since the beginning of the show. Our first guest, Leigh Brown, has a hashtag she wants us all to promote. What's the hashtag? Jerry Blanton. There you go, sir. So Remax, oh my goodness gracious, wait a minute.
Don't yell, you have a microphone.
I do, I know. Melanie, do you have time to come and rip his microphone out? Just come stand next to rip it out of your ear, hand it to her. Melanie Gallia has been the sign-off of the show since day one. You can just talk it into there. Go ahead, set it to the camera, Melanie Gallia.
Hey guys, if you are watching this show for the first time, make sure that you tell 3 agents about how amazing this show is. This show has changed my career drastically because it's leading edge conversation. And Dave, I wish you were here, and these guys do a great job too, so watch it every week. I literally schedule it into my week because then I'm not going to miss it, and I love to watch it live. So.
And you can go to mobileagenttv.com, sign up for the newsletter, and we'll just tell you when the next episode is. And that's it. Thanks, Melanie. Thank you all.
Keep being you, folks. Keep being you.
Thank you, Tom, and everyone for putting the show live. We'll see you very, very soon.
Stay social, my friends.